The music stopped, and 30 people at River Phoenix's house party held their breath as police handcuffs clicked around Johnny Depp's wrists. West Hollywood, 1991. Saturday night, 11:47 p.m. River Phoenix's rented house on Laurel Canyon Boulevard pulses with the energy of Hollywood's young underground scene. The Spanish-style bungalow has become an unofficial gathering place for musicians, actors, artists, and creative souls who refuse to fit into the industry's neat categories. Tonight's party wasn't planned as anything elaborate. River had mentioned to Johnny during lunch that he'd be home Saturday night, maybe jamming with some musicians. "Just come by if you feel like it," River had said. "Bring your guitar." But word spreads quickly in Hollywood's interconnected web of young talent. By 10 o'clock, the small house overflows with familiar faces, from film sets, recording studios, and underground clubs. The living room buzzes with conversation and improvised music. River sits cross-legged on the hardwood floor with his acoustic guitar, picking out melodies while Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers slaps bass lines. Johnny Depp lounges on the worn leather couch, occasionally contributing backing vocals. The atmosphere is relaxed, creative, authentic. Around them, 30 people create organic social energy. Actors from independent films mix with session musicians. Writers from alternative magazines debate film theory with cinematographers. Everyone young, everyone hungry, everyone committed to art over commerce. Martha Plimpton sits near the fireplace, discussing environmental activism with documentary filmmakers. Keanu Reeves leans against the kitchen counter, listening to conversations about motorcycle mechanics and philosophy. The house feels like a sanctuary, where creative people can be themselves without cameras or industry politics. "How are you feeling about the Ecuador trip?" Martha asks River, referring to his planned journey to work with environmental organizations documenting rainforest destruction. "Excited and terrified," River admits, tuning his guitar. "Part of me wants to document everything. Part of me just wants to learn what we're losing and what we can still save." Johnny arrives around 10. Having spent the afternoon reading scripts his agent insists represent career-defining opportunities, but feel like commercial formulas. He carries his guitar and wine from a small Northern California vineyard. "How was your week?" River asks, making space for Johnny on the couch. "Complicated," Johnny responds. 3 meetings about playing essentially the same character in 3 different movies, all described as vehicles for me, as if I'm cargo instead of a collaborator. River nods, understanding completely. Both actors have grown tired of industry events, where every conversation carries hidden agendas, where creativity takes second place to commercial considerations. "This is how it should always be," River says, picking out a melody while Johnny finds complementary chords. "Just people who love what they do, sharing space, making music, talking about real things." The music flows organically from acoustic folk to improvised rock jams. Someone produces a harmonica. Another guest contributes percussion on empty wine bottles. The living room transforms into an intimate concert venue where everyone participates rather than consuming entertainment. River's parties have earned a reputation for being different from typical Hollywood gatherings. No cocaine, no excessive drinking, no networking disguised as friendship. People drink wine and beer in moderation, more focused on conversation and music than altering consciousness. At 11:15, conversation shifts toward personal topics as people settle into comfortable intimacy. A musician talks about struggling with pressure to write commercial songs while staying true to artistic vision. "The contradiction drives me crazy," admits a television writer. "I want to create stories that matter, but networks want familiar formulas that don't challenge anyone." River sets down his guitar and leans forward. "I think about that constantly. Every role I consider, there's always this calculation between creative desire and commercial sense. But maybe the calculation itself is the trap." Johnny nods. "We accept the premise that we have to choose between meaningful work and successful careers. But maybe that's just what the industry wants us to believe." At 11:30, 3 sharp knocks echo through the house, cutting through music and conversation like a blade. River looks up, genuinely surprised. He'd kept tonight's gathering small and quiet, conscious of neighbors. The music stops as people recognize the sound of law enforcement. Johnny, sitting closest to the front door, sets down his guitar and walks through the crowded hallway, passing guests who watch with growing concern. Johnny opens the door expecting a neighbor with a noise complaint. Instead, he faces 4 Los Angeles Police Department officers in full uniform. The lead officer, Sergeant Martinez, carries the particular intensity of someone expecting trouble. "Good evening," Martinez says, his voice carrying authority. "We received reports of a loud party, possible drug activity, and underage drinking at this address." Johnny's face shows genuine surprise. "There's no loud party here, officer. Just friends listening to music. Everyone here is over 21. Martinez peers past Johnny into the house, taking inventory of the crowded living room, musical equipment, young people who now turn toward the door with confusion rather than panic. From his perspective, this looks like the kind of Hollywood party that generates problems. "We need to come inside and check for violations," Martinez says. "Step aside, please." Johnny doesn't move from the doorway. Not aggressively, just remaining in place with quiet determination. "Do you have a warrant? This is a private residence, and you don't have permission to enter." The question shifts the energy immediately. Martinez's expression hardens. Behind him, 3 officers adjust positions, hands moving closer to equipment. In the living room, conversations die as people realize something serious is happening. "Sir, step aside and allow us to conduct our investigation," Martinez repeats, his tone becoming threatening. Johnny looks back briefly toward River, silent communication passing between them. River nods almost imperceptibly, understanding Johnny is trying to protect everyone by keeping confrontation at the doorway. "I understand you're doing your job," Johnny says calmly, "but I'm not consenting to a search without proper justification. This is a quiet gathering. No one is causing problems or breaking laws." The standoff stretches several seconds. Martinez recognizes the type. Young Hollywood actor who thinks celebrity provides protection. He's dealt with entitled performers before. "Turn around and put your hands behind your back," Martinez orders sharply. "You're under arrest for obstruction of justice and interfering with a police investigation." 7 seconds have passed since Johnny answered the door. 7 seconds from normal evening to life-changing confrontation. The metallic click of handcuffs echoes through the suddenly silent house as Martinez secures Johnny's wrists. The sound cuts through background voices like a gunshot, freezing everyone in place. 30 people watch in stunned silence as their friend gets arrested for asking about constitutional rights. River stands immediately, his guitar falling to the floor with discordant clang. The music session transforms into something much more serious, as everyone realizes they're witnessing either police overreach or the beginning of larger problems. "Johnny," River says quietly, moving toward the front door, but not close enough to interfere. Johnny turns his head slightly, making eye contact with River. His expression shows no fear or anger, just calm acceptance and determination not to let it escalate. "It's okay, River," Johnny says steadily. "Just stay cool. Everyone, stay cool." Martinez recites Miranda rights while positioning Johnny for transport. Other officers spread out, observing the crowd for signs of resistance. Party guests watch with shock, anger, and fear. Several reach for cameras, but friends quickly stop them. Understanding photographs could create more problems. Martha covers her mouth, recognizing serious legal implications. Keanu moves closer to River, ready to provide support. As Martinez escorts Johnny toward the waiting police car, the arrested actor turns back one final time. "River, call my lawyer. Numbers in the address book by your phone. Tell him exactly what happened, exactly as it happened." River nods, his face showing controlled emotion of someone forced to watch a friend face injustice without being able to intervene. The police cars disappear down Laurel Canyon Boulevard, taking Johnny to West Hollywood Station for booking. The party is obviously over. Guests leave quickly but quietly, understanding additional commotion could result in more arrests. By midnight, only River, Martha, and Keanu remain in the house that an hour ago buzzed with creative energy. Now it feels empty, violated by authority that transformed peaceful gathering into criminal investigation. River finds Johnny's lawyer's number and makes the call. The lawyer, David Chen, experienced with entertainment industry legal issues, immediately begins asking detailed questions about the arrest. "They arrested him for asking about a warrant?" Chen asks. "That's not obstruction of justice by any legal definitions I know. Asking about warrants is protected speech." Chen explains that Johnny will probably be released within hours, that the charges sound like overreach, but the incident could create complications, depending on how aggressively authorities pursue the case. 3 hours later, Johnny returns, released but shaken. He describes the booking process, the questioning, the assumption that any gathering of young Hollywood people automatically involves illegal activity. "They kept asking about drugs," Johnny tells the friends who waited. "Kept insisting there had to be cocaine. Couldn't believe we were just playing music and talking." River shakes his head, frustrated but not surprised. This is what happens when you don't fit their categories, when you don't look like what they think responsible adults should look like. The arrest generates no media attention. Johnny's lawyer ensures charges get dropped quietly, recognizing them as overreach, but the incident stays with everyone who witnessed it, a reminder of how quickly normal situations can become legal crises. Weeks later, all charges are quietly dropped when prosecutors conclude that asking about warrants doesn't constitute obstruction of justice. The district attorney's office doesn't apologize, but the quiet dismissal suggests recognition that the arrest was unjustified. Years later, after River's tragic death, Johnny tells the story occasionally in interviews, not as entertainment, but as illustration of prejudices young actors faced. The assumption that creativity equals recklessness, that youth equals irresponsibility. that asking about constitutional rights represents dangerous challenge to authority. River handled it perfectly, Johnny says. He stayed calm, protected his guests, made sure everyone got home safely. He turned a bad situation into a lesson about maintaining dignity under pressure. The house party arrest becomes part of both actors' shared history, one of many experiences that deepened their friendship and shaped understanding of how fame provides no protection from prejudice, but friendship provides strength to face whatever comes next. 7 seconds at a front door in 1991. One moment when asking about constitutional rights resulted in handcuffs and arrest. One choice by Johnny Depp to protect friends by taking confrontation on himself rather than allowing police to search River's home. The night that taught two young actors that celebrity provides no protection from prejudice, but friendship provides strength to face whatever challenges emerge from refusing to conform to expectations.